This week, we are going to be doing some forward weaves, which I'm super excited about. I better actually get my notes up on screen. Sometimes I end up riffing when I lose my spot in my notes, and it's a lot better when I've got them there because I've thought about them when I wrote them. Um, anyways, let's see. We should start with warming up. Every week, it's really, really important to warm up, and it's a really good time to drill those timing and directions that are so important. So, everyone knows together same in the wall plane, together time, same direction. So your arms are hitting the tops and the bottoms at the same time. We're going the same direction. Let's go the other way too. Get your arms and body going, moving a little bit. And then we can do split same. So split time, your arms are at opposite sides of the circle, and watch me mess with my shoulders while I should really be using my body to get full extension. Rather than tweaking my shoulders, use your body to get full extension and rotate. So split time means your arms are on opposite side of the circle. Same direction though, you're swimming like a swimmer, right? You're swimming freestyle, you can swim backstroke, really good things to kind of feel as you go and let your body go. Don't just have it be from your arms, use your entire body. Let your spine feel flexible. Okay, and then we want to get to together opposite. So that means your arms are going to cross at the tops and the bottoms because those beats are going to be the same. So if you lift your arms up, but they're going opposite directions. So these circles are meeting at the tops and the bottoms, and you do that similar rotation as you were just doing, but you're going to be going in opposite directions. And then back. And then you can also think of this, if you turn back into the wall plane, you can think of this a lot. I like to think of yoga where you're doing mountain pose, reaching up, and bring energy down and reach up. Let that go down. Or you can gather up and bring down into you. So those are, and then you can cross your arms if you want to for more of a butterfly feel in the other direction. And then we want to do split opposites. So that means your arms are in opposites at top and bottom, and they cross on the side. And this is that double Dutch feel, right? This is split opposite. And make sure to go both directions. And hopefully your spine, shoulders, legs, everything about you is a little bit warmed up. So remember, I just hit timing and direction, planes with those. So we take timing and directions in different planes. You also have the floor plane as well, which is floor or ceiling. And you're going to combine driving styles, and you're going to put those all together in so many different forms, and it brings up a universal grammar. It's kind of like sentences are noun and verb, and it sounds like, wow, that's really limited. And then you start throwing words in, and you're like, wow, there are so many infinite sentences that could be said that every single day you say something that has never been uttered by a human ever before in history. That's today's fact. It's pretty magical. I love that idea. So last week we talked about buzzsaws, which are these little circles with your hands together kind of in front of your face, and we talked about buzzsaw fountains. At one point I totally melted my mind thinking about directionality of stuff as we split things, but they're fun. And I hope they give you a sense of what happens when we change poi relative to each other. And I know that we had some questions about planes. One thing, and I'll send the camera, I guess, over this way. One thing that I find useful sometimes is to use a wall. If you feel like you're not getting your planes really nicely, sometimes you can just get a wall, lean against it, and spin against it. And that can actually help you to train your planes. Remember, you're using a lot of muscles that you don't normally use in this way. And even if you're really strong and really in shape and really coordinated, you're doing a lot of fine writing or fine motion. It's kind of like writing. If you write with your right hand and then you try writing with your left hand and you're like, oh my gosh, or vice versa, you just may not have that fine control that you're used to on your dominant hand. So what you're doing is you're training all those muscles to be really reactive to all these small, delicate changes. And it's really amazing to see yourself grow with that. It'll make you more capable in so many things. You'll start feeling more ambidextrous. My wife is like, how can you text with your left hand like that? And I'm like, well, I've been practicing for years. So today, and that walls are great for a lot of things, but really keeping your planes in order it's a really good thing to practice if you're having a hard time with that. And you can also get up against the wall, you know, and spin larger with the wall on this side. I think if you're doing buzz saws, you kind of want to do it more like this as you work with that. So today we're going to cover weaves, which I love weaves. I gotta say, when everyone's like, yeah, when I was a beginner poi spinner, they're going to be telling you stories about weaves and butterflies, because those are the ones that I think really feel like true achievements. So I'm excited for this. And it's also a little bit scary because I feel very responsible for dropping some good hints, because everyone learns them differently. Everyone will have a different approach into, oh yeah, this thing worked when this person showed me this. And I also want to give a shout out to a couple people who've taught me over the years, and you're going to be getting a lot of the knowledge kind of filtered through them. People like the Vulcan crew, Noel Yee, Ian Smith, Greg Maldonado, Chrissy Humphreys, Jordan Campbell, Memory Elena, those sort of people, Ben Drexler, Nick Woolsey, all fantastic resources. So if you're looking for more info, always ask me and I will probably point you to one of their tutorials. Anyways, so the weaves. What a weave looks like is this. It's generally done, popularly done, in the wheel plane. And what you're doing here is you're crossing with one arm and then the other arm. And one arm, then the other arm. So you see this little X in front of you. We come back to that X as you cross from sides of your body relative to yourself. Okay, now weaves can look very different from each other. Right now I'm doing a little bit of a loose weave with a tight center. Other people will do really fast weaves. Mike Trahey always does a very powerful weave, or he's known for a very powerful weave. If you're familiar with the jam, I can't even do them nearly as fast as he can. Some weaves are a little bit loopier with other stuff thrown in, but in the end, there's still a weave, you know, moving all over the place. They can be really slow and big. Basically, what defines it is you're doing 3 beats. You're doing a pattern that keeps resetting, one arm on top of the other, and you've got 3 beats on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm counting the poi as they go, as they get close to the floor, the bottom of the circles. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. So we're going to learn that in the forward today. So breaking that down, you're going to, with one hand each, and this is where you pick up your poi, you're going to end up doing 2 beats on one side, on the opposite side, and 1 beat on the native side. You can even do that now. 2 beats, pick your left hand, pick your right hand, whatever you want to learn it with. Do crossover and do 2 beats and 1 back. Now, remember when we were doing 2 beats before, how you drew an X in front of you as you kind of cross your body. You're doing that now, except just 1, 2, and back. Now you could do 1, 2, 3, back, or you could do 1, 2, 3, 4. For a 3-beat weave, you're going to be going 1, 2, and back. What's capable in the style of poi that we're doing is you can do 3-beat or 5-beat weaves. A 4-beat weave is impossible unless you're doing 2 poi in one hand or you're doing partner poi. But right now we're doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now what that's doing, as these mesh together, it's really cool. It's kind of like a clock. You've got this pattern, and it's opposite on on the other side, it feels kind of lopsided. You're like, well, if I do 2 here and 1 here, what's happening? What's happening is you've got a switch between what's chasing and what's leading. And so having 2 on the opposite side, that allows the one that's doing 1 on this side to go from trailing to being ahead, because it's taking a shortcut. So that's why it's kind of cool. It's almost like watching 2 squirrels where one darts ahead, then the other darts ahead, then the other darts ahead. So you're giving time for that exchange to take place. So if you haven't yet, switch to the other hand and practice how that feels to go 1, 2, and back. 1, 2, and back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's the first important thing to remember is that pathway. Now how it works relative to each other though is put your arm out. Right hand, left hand, it doesn't matter. But how they weave together, that pathway in relation to each other, really makes a difference. So if you go over, under, back, over, under, back, this is going to be the path. Now it's not going to be this exact path. This is kind of relative to each other. Because remember, this hand seems to be moving a lot and this hand is holding still. This is to just kind of give you a relativity, because this hand's going to be moving too. So this isn't the final pattern. Sometimes people try to break it down. They're like, well, this hand's stuck over here. When does it cross over? Really? It's kind of crossing over as they're crossing back and forth. Okay? But for now, practice this. You get a sense of what your arms are doing in relation to each other. Over, under, back. Over, under, back. From the side, over, under, back. Top of your arm, under the elbow, back. Over, under, back. And switch. So you're going to come and it's going to go, remember you're doing this forward, so you want to make sure that it's kind of like you're jumping rope in a normal pattern, not reverse, okay? So over, under, back. 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 So you can practice that forever. It's really good to work those together. So you want to kind of break this down a little bit, how 2 arms are going to work together. The one arm, when it goes over, is going to be crossing over the top. And you'll notice that there's a beat down at the bottom. And that's kind of like the 1 beat, okay? You're going to be waltzing. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So what's going to happen is that beat over the top is a really important one. That's the accented beat. And that's going to be really important later on too. So reach over, and let's not even worry about over under now. Let's just do over and let it dangle down. Let it lose its momentum. 1, 2, okay? And then change that to, rather than letting it dangle, move your hand around your arm. 1, 2. But let it kind of lose momentum. 1, 2. Really feel the accent on the 1, and the 2 just kind of happens, and then you can even just let it fall to your side here and you get a subtle 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you have that accent, which is really important, then a reset, and then back to the other side. Because what's going to be happening kind of during that reset is where this other arm is going to be moving back to on top. And it's going to be doing the crossover. So 1, 2, 3. At that 2 moment, this hand becomes the dominant one. Now, since there are 2 moving together, count with ands. I don't know how many of you have a musical background, but you can say 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, because we're in split time. So those ands are really important. So what's happening here is it crosses over at 1 and you've got kind of a separated arm. 2 and, so that 2 and is actually the 1 dominant downbeat for this one, because that's halfway through the pattern. The 2 and is halfway through the pattern. Then 3 and it's resetting on this side. So you've kind of got a cross, reset going on. And that reset is allowing the 1 to go from the leader to the chaser to the leader. So then we're going to go into a 2 beat. What? We've been working on 3 beats. This 2 beat is going to teach you how to put these together and to how to feel what it feels like to go into the 3 beat weave. So 3 beats are in split time, same direction, okay? Just like this. We were practicing that. That's like you're swimming, right? So we've got the split time, same direction. What's going to happen is before we get into that dominant hand crossing over on that downbeat, we have to kind of turn the other hand into a chase hand. So you think of the other one as, well, that's the important downbeat, but this one has to get in the position to chase. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cross over with my right hand is my goal. So what I have to do first is cross under with my left hand, so then it starts chasing my right hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 2 beat, which is going to mean the right hand stays in front. So that pattern that we've been doing, we're going to set that aside for a bit. So we go like this, split time, same direction in the wheel plane. I lead under with my left hand, and what's happening is I'm drawing an X where my right hand is leading every time. Okay? And this is very similar to those 2 beats we were doing earlier on. And basically, your right hand is always feel that beat down from the right hand. It's crossing over the top every single time. And everything is almost just unwinding and setting up again for that. Okay? So feel that downbeat, downbeat, downbeat. And then you can just keep the poi on the same side to reset. Keep them on their native sides to reset. And then get back into it. Lead under with the left, which allows the right to, it kind of sets it up in place as following it. And then basically you cross your arm over and bring it back. Try to keep them in pretty tight planes. They don't have to be exact for now. But work toward getting them exact. Okay, so I've been leading with my right hand over the top. What we want to do next is have our left hand over the top. So I'm going to drop my right hand under my left hand. So it's kind of dropping into the track that the left hand is going to be leading. So it goes subtly under, and then I went right into a weave. Goes under, and then the left hand comes on top. And then you can stop. Then under and the left hand comes on top. You can stop. Under and then the left hand goes. And then you can just keep it as, you're basically doing figure 8s. These are those 2 beats that we were doing 2 or 3 weeks ago. Just in the wheel plane together as a chase. because one hand is always chasing the other. Right now, my left hand is always on top. Okay? And get that in there. And then what you want to do is work on, okay, just had the left on top. Now I'm going to follow in with my left hand and let my right go on top for a little bit. And really get that into your muscle memory. These 2 beats are wonderful, because what's going to happen is that downbeat, that accented downbeat that now my right hand is doing, that's going to be kind of that base, that firm foundation for your weave. Okay? And switch hands and let the right follow the left. Okay. I'll let you guys practice that. Keep practicing that. So, you know that we've been flopping back. You can kind of, and this is back to that practice thing where we start off in a stable place, we move to another stable pattern. You can do that forever. And then we find another stable pattern where you can do, I was doing left over, now I'm doing right over. So now what we can do is we have this stable spot right in the middle, split time, same direction, and then let's do 1 left over and then come back to here. Then do 1 right over and then come back to here. 1 left over. And when I say left over, you kind of start it with your right subtly sneaking behind. When I say right over, you start with your left subtly sneaking under. And you can kind of just go back and forth, where the right leads, and then the left leads. And what you've already learned is how to get into and out of weaves. You've already learned that without even trying. And that's really one of the things that really ends up confusing people a lot, is getting in and out. Well, this is how you get in and out of weaves. Because this is the start and the end of the pattern. And then what happens is, if you string them together, you're basically doing the weave already, because you're doing basically a pause, quick pause in the middle with the weave. So what we're going to work on next is trying to get that pause out. But feel that feel of if you do 1 over the top and back, so we do left over, and then, then right over, then left over, and right over. So what we're doing is we're doing that weave and start getting that feeling of one arm going over the top and then the other. Okay, so one way, and this is where that accent really makes a difference. So you're doing this, you lead in, you feel that accent down. And then let this, then actually, I'll do that part later. So, feel this accent down. And then, remember how I said the first accent is hard, then you let it fall, and then back? What if you took this and you let this go with that accent down, and then just let it fall slowly to your side? So down, fall, and back. Okay, now remember, so if you do this, lead under, down, fall, and down, and fall, what's going to end up happening is on this side, and I guess I'll turn to this side so you can see it. This is the spot, this circle, where rather than going back to this side, right now we're going back to this side and kind of letting it fall, and then letting the other side get its dominant beat. When we do this, I'm kind of letting it fall across my body. Rather than letting it fall across my body with that 2 beat, I'll let it fall on the same side. So 1, 2, sorry, I just did a crosser. 1. This is a reminder of why it's hard to put it together. And once you get the feel of it, it's going to get going. So I lead in behind 1, 2, and just let it fall on this side, okay? So I chase under with my left, 1, 2, okay? And you can even split right here and get into a, rather than going into back, the 2 beat back across your body, go into a split time same direction on your side. It's basically the same thing as this, is doing it in front of you, except you're rotated to the side because that's how you're oriented. So if you do the cross under and then like this. So rather than having this on both sides of your body, you're chasing and go to the side. And then reach over the top with your left hand. And if you want to, you don't have to stop here. You can stop in the middle and kind of enjoy this. Spin slowly, don't hit your head. It's kind of cool. You're kind of like a magic genie at this point. And then bring your other arm under. And then spin to this side. And then bring your right hand over. And let it fall to this side. And the left hand over. And let it fall to this side. And right hand over. Don't obsess about how good your planes are at this moment. Because right now, the momentum as we get going will start helping you. So, if you can, that genie thing might be confusing people. If you can, just cross over and just follow with the next hand over to the side. Cross over and follow with the next hand to the side. Cross over and follow to the next hand to the side. I'll show you from the side. So we're going to cross over and the side, cross over with the other hand, and at the side like this. Cross over with this hand to the side like this. Now, the funny thing is, this is our advanced topic for the week, but we're going to also move into the weave from it. So, you remember a couple weeks ago how we did spin flowers, right? How you do flowers, compound circles together like this. So, right now, you have your hands like this. These are 2 petals of a flower. Move them to be 2 petals up and down, and that upper hand is going to be the crossover. And bring it to the other side. Bring that hand down, the other hand up, and that's going to cross over to this side. So right now, you're actually doing more of an advanced move. This is a weave with a flower in on the side. Just like with flowers, we can do petal removal. So start emphasizing, rather than more spins on the side, emphasize moving into your arms. So cut that down to 2 on the sides. 2 petals, which is essentially what we were doing before. And then just cut those out, and you are doing a weave. Now I can't really see comments right now. I don't know if that is people are not currently commenting, or if that is a software glitch, but I will hit up questions afterwards. Right now, this feels a lot like waltzing, and this is something where step through all of those exercises that we did. Remember that over, under, back, over, under, back. The chase, where one hand goes under and the other hand is dominant on top, and you really feel that beat down. And then make sure to do it on the other side, because both sides have to feel that beat. And that's how you enter in on either side. And then you put them together with using those flowers on the side and going station to station. And you've also got a really cool, awesome advanced weave going on at the very same time as you learned it. So different things will hit different people. Feel the rhythm, feel that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And recognize that you're basically doing a cross, reset, cross, reset. Because one hand goes from I'm leading, and this has to do an extra beat on this side. When I cross over here, that's one beat, and then this other one follows, and then I have to do another beat, and this one's like, oh, I can dart ahead. So realize that you basically have a cross, a reset, other arm, cross, reset, cross, reset, cross, reset. And then you're going to end up swaying with it. It feels magical. Some of you will feel it from the pattern. Some of you will feel it from the beats. Eventually everyone will feel it from the beats, but whatever locks it in. So just remember, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you can start doing magical stuff with it. They're pretty amazing. So next week we're going to cover reverse weaves. And then I think the week after we'll do 1.5, which kind of feels like clicking your heels walking down the sidewalk. You can throw weaves in there too, and they're pretty amazing. So hit me up with questions. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope that that helps you on your journey. And yeah, we will talk soon. Stay safe. Be good to each other. Look out for each other, and we'll see you soon. Have a good week. Bye-bye.